So, starting this video off, someone said in my comment section here that also look at what TYLER1 said about the situation. I looked at that and I disagree with some of the things that he said. I don't disagree with some others. Before we look at that, I just want to say something. This video will be harsh. It will focus on the truth. And the only thing I'm going to take away from this here and talk about mainly is accountability and responsibility. Another thing, I will not focus on Tas and once again. Laura and Dantes are indisputably the ones in the light here, and it's not disputable if Tarzan is a psychopath or not, and if the things he did was right or wrong. That is pretty much agreed on by everyone. However, there's a lot of disputes on the other side of the argument here, which is Dantes and Laura, which is why I will focus on that. So again, I'm not looking to shame or say someone's bad or anything like that. I just want to focus on things here so we can learn from it, and hopefully some people can take some things away from this, because I think there's a lot of things here that are being failed, which comes to responsibility and taking some sort of accountability. So again, I don't mean to be mean here. I will not sympathize a lot with a lot of people here. I will just primarily focus on the facts. Although some things do suck, it is what it is. So again, we're going to start with the TYLER1 clip.
That it's a big deal. It's actually a big deal, but it's nobody's deal except for their own. Like, you know what I mean? Like nobody needs to know about that ever. And there's no world where anybody should ever know about that unless they want people to know. So you really, long story short, you cannot ever, it is completely unacceptable ever in any capacity, I do not care, to ever make that public to anybody. That it is life-changing stuff that even today, if you ask Kayla, I bet Kayla still is just going through it. Like even after 2 months, we have a beautiful baby. We went through a pregnancy successfully. If you ask her, I bet she thinks about it. I think about it, but it's not like every. I'm not gonna lie and say I sit here and think like that's something that.
All right, yeah. So the first thing I just want to say, right, like it's unacceptable to talk about this. So just addressing Tarzan and Dantes here, right? So if you say there is no nuke, there is no like I have nothing to hide, you're kind of begging for it, right? I'm not justifying Tarzan here, but imagine if Epstein said I have nothing to hide, and one of his friends was like, "Well, you do. I know everything, so I know you have things to hide." Right? Like you can't like say that and not like expect the other party to like respect everything. I'm not saying that it's justified again, but you have to be like aware of like what might come from it, right? It's like if I say like I have nothing to hide in this situation or like blah blah, I'm not like this, and then some friend of yours knows that you are like that, then you cannot be 100% certain that they will not call you out, even though you might not agree or not. It is what it is. Right? Like, but you can't say that and expect that nothing might come from it, right? It's like he said there was no nuke or something like that, and then, I mean, there was, and Tarzan was obviously caught by it as well. It was fucked up. There's no dispute there. But the second part here is to be disputed.
Public to anybody. Kayla still is just going through it. Like even
Michaela is still going through it, yes. But the difference there is Michaela wanted the child. That's the big difference here. Michaela wanted a child. Laura said she thought she wouldn't have a kid, or like she wasn't able to have a kid. She assumed that she didn't, like she wasn't capable. So there's two things here to just like quickly reflect on. Maybe she wanted the child and that's why she's traumatized and she was forced to. But she has said, her own testimony is that she didn't want it, she just assumed not. Right? So there's a big difference there. She and everyone else has to take some sort of responsibility for this. Because if you don't want a child, and then there are precautions you can take. She wasn't, like, I don't know how to say this, I don't want to say the certain word, but she wasn't attacked or like forced, right? So there were both consenting parties here. So again, you can have protection in multiple ways. You can either wear a condom or you can get like some device inserted, pills, whatever, right? So like there are a lot of things that could have been done here to prevent that situation from happening to begin with. So I do think that she should take some responsibility for that, and she's not entirely like free of she's not as big of a victim there, because she is obviously responsible, right? Which is why, again, I said before, I didn't feel that much sympathy in that case, because at the end of the day, they are responsible, right? I will not say everything I've done, but as an example, like I don't like to talk about this because I believe in relativity. That's an example. Like I smoke, right? And if I get cancer or something, like I'm at fault, right? Like I'm not, I'm not gonna, like I have to take responsibility for that, right? Like I can't get traumatized or like sad that it happened because I didn't do anything to prevent it and I provoked it, if anything, right? So, like, of course, she's gonna be sad before she reaches she is. If it's because of the abortion, I kind of struggle to see much. I mean, I can't put myself in that situation. Even it's something you can't really experience until you've been there. But again, I do think that not taking any responsibility or anything at all and like completely being a victim there is kind of wrong because of course you could have done many things to prevent it, right? And that is the main focus of this video here. It's just the fact that if you're like not wanting a child, then you need to do things to prevent that from happening because you don't want to end up in the situation here. And so, in that sense, I think they're a bit stupid, right? Because again, you can't assume things in life. Right? You can't assume that things will be okay because you have to face reality and take the consequences, and then learn from them, and hopefully, like, speak out and like maybe teach others about them to prevent other people from having the same issues. So again, of course, it sucks for her, but it's also her fault, right? Because again, she's pro-choice, so I mean, it's your body, whatever. But at the end of the day, you are then also like responsible for your body and like what you do and what happens. Like if something happens, then and it is something you did, then you have to take like it was your choice. You did that. And she chose to not have any protection. So this is what happens. So if anyone else finds himself in this situation here, like it was your fault, right? And the other thing with responsibility I wanted to talk about here, the thing that I primarily like wanted to focus on, is that Dante shouldn't have brought her on the stream. Because primarily throughout the entire relationship, it's been about on Twitter, like Dante's used Laura. Laura was doing everything for him, he wasn't doing anything for her. And that was like his big issue. And then bringing her on the stream here for him, like I think it's shit. Like sure, she might want to speak about things and she might not want to be alone when she's talking about it. But the connection they have is like different, right? Like Laura obviously loves Dantes, and maybe he does too back, but she wants to be with him. He doesn't want to be with her. So he's using her in that sense. And something Dantes said not too long ago is that he's going to take accountability and responsibility for everything and start anew. And if this is his new beginning, I think that's wrong. Like I think the best thing for him to have done here is just go on the stream and say like you can't do this, etc. Like you're Trina, like shit, you're a piece of garbage. Like I think at the end of the day, that would have put Dawson in even like a more of a like bad light because now there's like this conflict here of like Laura being on the stream for Dantes while Dantes has been using Laura for primarily most of the relationship, right? So I think that big part of taking responsibility here is that Dantes would have just gone on the stream by himself and just defended Laura, said that I was wrong, and then if she wanted to speak on it, she has her own platform. I mean, every single eye would still find her content. It's not like it's hidden somewhere, right? So she definitely could speak on it. But I think she's gonna have conflicting emotions about being on his stream, even though she might not want to be alone or like she's hoping for something. It's hard to tell. Like I can't put myself in this situation, but she's definitely like wanting to do this for Dantes too. But I don't think that Dantes deserves that, considering everything going on. So yeah, a big step for him to take accountability here would have just been go on the stream by himself, let Laura use her own platform, talk about it, and not like leave this like lingering feeling of like Dantes using her for his own gain here to like defend him more, like put Tarzan in, I don't know, like using her as a weapon against Tarzan basically, primarily. Right. So I think that again, if you really want to take responsibility, then he should have sheltered her. You say she doesn't need to be sheltered, but again, she has her own platform. People will hear her voice. This was not necessary, and it feels like there's more motives here than just that one, and one of them being like saving Dantes' career. Not saying that his career is over. I'm sure many people are still going to watch him. But again, I feel like everything just reeks of like responsibility for the entire thing. And again, that's my primary focus here. And there are so many angles and things you can look at. So, like, I'm not addressing everything. Like, I feel that right? It would need so much thinking and like reflecting on the entire situation for me to be able to like speak on every single topic, which is why when people say things in the comments, I can like think about that, right? Like I don't have my entire life to invest in this yet, and I've not been in that situation. I've just frequently like, or like roughly read things and then like being able to like reflect to see certain things. And there are certain like these things I pointed out. One of the things that like bothers me, like Michaela and Laura are not the same. Michaela wanted the child, she didn't. She had unprotected sex, got a child, and then she had to get rid of it, and she feels sad about that. I'm not sure why again, because again, if you didn't want to do that, then use protection, and you have to take responsibility. Right? I don't think it's that traumatizing experience unless she really wanted the child and she was forced not to have it. Because again, then I feel like she's very naive. And yeah, if anything, then she would be upset with herself being stupid, I guess. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not end here. I'm sure many people are gonna hate what I say in the comment sections and disagree with certain things. But at the end of the day, you cannot dispute. I don't think that these two situations are different, and the fact that I don't think that Dantes was very responsible here. He didn't take much accountability here at all. And he used Laura, I feel. I don't see any different, and then it's basically the summary here. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's the only thing to add because I feel like people need to be aware of consequences for your actions, and you cannot just feel sorry for yourself after you face the consequences. You have to take responsibility and own up to it, right? And that's it. Hope you guys continue to have a good morning and not show and picture like that, and take care. Peace.